Hello, everybody. My name is Tita Atang. I'm a pre-sales solutions consultant with Bytes, and I'm here to talk to you about two exciting products from Microsoft, all to improve that employee experience. And they are called Microsoft Places and Microsoft Viva. It's all about optimizing your workspace with connected workplaces and turning your spaces into places. So let's take a step back, and I want to talk to you about what's known as the employee worth it equation. And so what is that? Well, let's look back into what's happened in the last few years. Obviously, we've been through a pandemic that changed the way we work. Hybrid working is now the new norm, right? And so yes, there have been global trend changes. So we had the great reshuffle back in spring of 2021. And this is where you had a whole host of professionals changing their work, their roles, looking for different jobs that would offer more than just a paycheck. They were looking for jobs that they could connect to, that they had more sense of identity with, that had more value to them. So this great reshuffle is a big shift that happened around the spring of 2021. And this was also then followed by or accompanied by what's known as a silent resignation. And this was where employees were just kind of doing the bare minimum to get through their work from 9 to 5 or whatever that time window was. So they weren't really, you know, going above and beyond what's required. They were just doing the bare minimum. And reason for that again was just the lack of satisfaction, in terms of their work, in terms of what it's offering to them, in terms of how they can connect, how they feel important. So now we're in this era known as the Great Expectation. And that's where employees and professionals, I should say, are concerned not just about how and where they work, but why they work. And that's what we mean when we say the new worth it equation. So employees are thinking, what's it worth to me? This role, what does it offer more than just a paycheck? How does it address my social requirements? What's the flexibility there? The lifestyle, what are the elements there to feel that I can be part of this organization? So these are the challenges that leaders are faced with. But it also comes at a difficult time where we've got a lot of economic uncertainty. We've got growing inflation, supply chain disruption, and all that is doing nothing but put pressure to the employees and to the leaders, and so to the organizations. And so what's really needed is kind of a modern way to engage and then develop employees, especially in this hybrid world we live in. And that's where Microsoft Viva and Microsoft Places comes into the equation. These are the tools that can allow you to engage with your employees. And I'll talk you through the different offerings of Microsoft Viva and Microsoft Places. So if we start with Microsoft Viva, you can see the 4 pillars that consist of Microsoft Viva. We've got connection, insights, purpose, and growth. And those are the key areas that Microsoft Viva offers to organizations. Start with connections. These statistics were produced by Microsoft partners who are doing some research to grab these statistics for us to assess, to utilize. You can see 83% of employees would be more motivated to come to work if they knew that their co-workers would be there. So the whole socializing side of things. I can absolutely relate to that. I remember a few weeks ago, I didn't go into work for the whole week. I typically go in twice a week, but for some reason I wasn't able to go in that whole week. And by Friday, I did feel, that I hadn't, not disconnected, because of course we've got Viva and we're using it, but that lack of connectivity in terms of physically being with someone, I could feel it, and so it really is important that you know organizations can put things in place to kind of ensure employees can go into work And there are tools that can help them engage with their coworkers if they're working from home. So connections, that motivation is important. And then insights. So 75% of employees or 80% of managers think that their company does not solicit feedback enough feedback, or often enough, I should say. So that lack of understanding, if you're an employee, that your manager has not given you enough feedback to know how you're performing. Or as a manager, you're not getting enough information or feedback from your direct reports to know if how they're feeling or how things are going. So that insights has kind of identified that, and there's what insights can do is offer tools to help you improve those connection channels. And then purpose. So 81% of employees say that it's important that their managers help them prioritize their workload. So having a tool that can allow employees to know what they're doing and help prioritize those activities and align them to the organization's objectives. That's what purpose brings to the table. And then growth. So 76% of employees say that they stay at their company longer if they received learning and development support, right? So again, you know if you have these tools available, your employees will stay with you because they're the right place for growth. And when we talk about the new worth it equation, it could be one or all of those four offerings that is the new worth it for a particular employee. So one employee growth may be what is the deciding factor in terms of him staying with the organization. For another, it may be purpose. For another, it may be insights. It may be connections. So Viva, that addresses all those four areas, and some employees may be more focused on one than the other, but at least you've got a tool that can address that. But it's not easy. Yeah, it's definitely not an easy task. I mean, 34% of companies, again, this was a research by Forrester Consulting. The output was, as you can see, 34% of companies have invested in 6 or more tools for employee experience goals. And 68% of employees find these tools outdated or irrelevant, so they can't really engage with them. That last stat, 94% of business leaders want one comprehensive system. So business leaders have identified that they want a landing page, a go-to place where people can get what they want, whether it's an insights or goals or learning. That same singular platform, that's what 94% of leaders want. The employee experience impacts business success. If your employees are not happy, they won't be performing well, and it will impact your business. This statistics, again, conducted by Gallup and Glint. 15% of employees worldwide are engaged at work. That's a really low number. You need to. There's obviously a need for tools to increase that employee engagement to ensure that your workforce are engaged, happy, productive, and that will translate back to your success as an organization. Retention. Highly engaged employees are 12 times less likely to leave their company than those who are not engaged. Then profitability. Organizations with high engaged employees have 23% greater profitability. And it makes sense, right? You've got happy employees, they'll want to work for the organization, they'll want to go the extra mile, and it will translate to better numbers in your output. So it does make sense to ensure there are tools there to ensure that your employees are happy and productive at work. So what is an employee experience platform? The key thing to know about it is that people are at the center of these offerings, whether it's insights and well-being, understanding the financial, the mental, the physical challenges that your employees may be going through, or the organization is going through. Microsoft Insights can give you those statistics. Whether it's learning and development, onboarding, or lifestyle moments, talent mobility, having those tools available for your employees. Or whether it's purpose alignment, where they can see the goals and objectives of an organization and how they can map that down to their team and their projects that they're working on. The culture and communication, being able to access the news, events, resources, communities, a sense of connectivity with your co-workers, knowledge and expertise, being able to find the right content or contact the right person in an efficient way, not by guesswork, not by asking someone who then refers you to someone else, who then refers you to someone else. Having the tools to be able to surface the right subject matter expert just because you've typed the right keywords, surface the right documents. That's what that's what the employee experience platform is all about. It's about enabling your employees to have access to these offerings. And as you can see, through email, chat, video messaging, all about productivity and collaboration, surfaced through an interface that we're all familiar with, Microsoft Teams. But not just that, it also surfaces through Outlook, depending on the application, on the app or the Viva app. And so you can see um, from an architectural perspective, or for, if you want to see the apps at a high level, these are the specific apps that sit under the pillars that I spoke of earlier on. So with Viva Connections, you have all your apps in one place. So Viva Connections is the glue that will allow you to connect with insights or engage or Viva goals or Viva learning. So under Viva Connections, you've got Viva Engage, which is that interface where it allows you to join communities, connect with your leaders, connect with your co-workers. We've got Viva Amplify, which is which is coming out this year. Viva Amplify will allow your users to create messages and campaigns that can be pushed out to all the various channels, whether it's SharePoint or Teams or OneDrive or Outlook. But you've got that centralized place where you create the content once and you push it out automatically, not creating it in the various silos. And then Insights, we've got Viva Insights and Viva Pulse. So Insights, which we'll talk about a bit later on, about understanding how productive you are as an individual, or how productive your team is if you're a manager, or how productive your organization is if you're a CFO or CTO. Having those insights and having actionable actions that you can conduct as a result of those insights. Viva Pulse. Now, Viva Pulse is going to be coming out again this year, and this is the feedback tool that we spoke about. Employees want to be able to feed back to their managers and vice versa. So Viva Pulse is that app which will allow you to have that engagement back and forth and get feedback at every stage of your engagement, every stage of your career in your organization. Then Viva Goals, being able to see what goals and what objectives your organization has, and how can you map that down to your team and to yourself as an individual, so that you can know that what you're doing, you can have an understanding about how your role impacts the organization's goals. So that sense of belonging, that sense of being part of the organizational team. And then growth, of course. So we've got Viva Topics and Viva Learning. And Viva Topics, again, is about being able to find the right people, the right content, the right subject matter expert at a click of a button by just typing a few keywords. AI will then search and find the right person, find the right content. And then Viva Learning, all about that learning experience, whether it's learning for a new role within your organization, or whether it's learning for skills to be more certified and to improve your role as part of your your activities in your organization. So learning tool is there. Privacy and security absolutely is not compromised. So you can see granular features to ensure that there's differential privacy for insights. So what that means is the insights that are just specific to you as an individual are only visible by you as an individual. The insights that are specific to a manager are visible by the manager, and so on. And so in terms of who is what's who's used what type of employees are eligible or have access to Teams, to Viva. You can see at the left-hand side, connections, insights, purpose. That's typically all employees. irrespective of what their role is or where they're based. But on the right hand, there are also role-based experiences which are coming through. Viva Sales, again, coming through this year to empower your sales specialist to capture specific and crucial information throughout about an engagement they've had, about a prospect, and effectively populate the underlying CRM with that information, all about increasing their productivity, being able to then move on to that next customer engagement. So Viva Sales is that tool. Excuse me. Viva Sales is that tool that will allow you to capture information as a sales executive or a sales manager about your customer and update your CRM smoothly. And that brings me to the topic of integration. So Viva integrates with a lot of applications. So don't feel that you have to rewrite the wheel in terms of applications you have in your landscape. You may already have a training module like or subscription, like you can see some examples here, and Viva will integrate with these applications and surface them through Viva. So that's the beauty of it. It's got a lot of partners it can connect with. So when we talk about Viva Connections, it's all about promoting a vibrant and inclusive workplace where information and knowledge can flow freely and everyone belongs. You can see some of the things there, a sense of community. You can exchange ideas within your fellow co-workers, have that two-way dialogue between employees and leaders, connect and engage with frontline workers so they have the right tools to be able to do what they need to do as part of their role, and discover relevant and personalized information. So your dashboard is personalized based on your role, based on your interests, so you can access the apps that you use every day. So again, communities, um, just some of the bullet points here, things like the community, being able to join the right community and engage with people who have similar interests to you, depending on the type of community. Rich mobile experience, so you can have access on the go, you're not just in the office, and so on. So it's about being connected, always connected, and having that personalized experience so you can see the things that are relevant to you. So you can see what that looks like from a dashboard, from a tablet experience. You've got tiles on the right hand side where you can access things like your learning, if you want to continue your training, or um, you want to book holiday, or you want to see what's the latest news that's been surfaced, that's been released from the organization. All surface you can see through Microsoft Teams. On the go, similar experience. You can see here you've got the dashboard, your feeds, your resources. In this graphic here, I'm booking holiday from my phone, taking time off, but it could have easily been looking for some information, or trying to find out get some news, get the latest news from the latest product update, and so on, company-wide updates, learning opportunities, things that matter to you, all in one place. And so when you talk about Viva Engage, which is part of the offering for Viva Connections, Viva Engage does do that thing. It gives you that sense of community. So you can see here, this individual is a member of the help desk support. There's also working from home community, new employees community. It's really great. It's that one-stop shop where you can connect with your coworkers, depending on on the subject of the community. Join the one that's relevant to you. Have those open discussions, knowledge share, throw in hints and tips. It's it's all about feeling engaged. And then when that happens, it doesn't matter where you are. It may be something you experienced while you were traveling back from a meeting. You put it in the right community, and all your other coworkers will be aware of this new experience you discovered. So it's centralizing that information, but also making it accessible in an efficient way. And Viva Engage does that. And again, that's just another screenshot where you can see the different type of communities, whether it's all company wide, or whether it's a charitable one like a giving campaign, women in ERG, help desk support, nice and tailored ones specific to you. to provide a front door to employee communities and resource groups where you can contribute and have that sense of belonging, sense of community. But we also have within Viva Engage, there's also something known as the leadership corner. And again, this is where you can engage with the leaders of the organization, all about fostering open dialogue between the leadership team and your employees. So you've always got an avenue, a way you can speak with the CFO, CTO about any concerns you have, you know. And it works both ways. As a CFO, they would embrace the ability to be able to connect with their employees rather than just the old-fashioned way, which is town hall meetings or that which is very like static and not as frequent. Something like this is accessible to anyone and everyone, and they can connect with their leaders, the CFOs, etc., and vice versa. So you can so these things, it's all about that engagement, and that's what Viva offers. Viva Engage under the pillar of connection. You know, I know I keep on repeating it, but it's just important to you to understand that it's about that connectivity, that sense of belonging, that accessibility, being able to access your leaders and connect with them. Vice versa, as a leader, you want to be able to access your employees in a nice informal way so that it can have that open conversation. I spoke earlier on about Viva Amplify, which is coming soon in 2023, sometime this year. And what that does, it offers, it's a centralized communication process where you can save time and focus on what matters. You can drive engagement with your message by meeting employees where they are. So whether it's in Outlook, Teams, or SharePoint, you can create the engagement, the communication um, subject, and push it out to your users, to your employees, so that irrespective of where they are, they can get that information. So Viva Amplify will be coming out this year. And then there's also the people and org discovery coming out this year. And that's more than just an org chart that shows a name, address, well, not address, sorry, name, job title, phone number, etc., contact information. But it also, it'll do things like highlight the hybrid work preferences. So what days of the week does Joe Block go in, so that I can make sure I'm in when he's in or when she's in. Things like information on Viva goals and topics as well. So what employees are responsible or associated with these goals and these topics. So you're getting more information than just the name and number of an employee. And that's coming out again this year. So let's talk about insights now. So insights about unlocking real-time insights and actionable recommendations. So whether you're an individual, a line manager, or a CTO, CFO, it's relevant to all of you. Excuse me. So you can see some of the benefits. It can help managers identify and address opportunities to reduce burnout. It'll give individual personalized insights to help them stay focused and productive. As a CFO, they'll be able to understand the impact of hybrid working on people and businesses, and so on. So insights is a great tool for all people within the organization. So as a manager, I'll be able to understand the work patterns of my colleagues, my direct reports. I'll be able to understand when, find out how they're working, how often they're conducting meetings, when was the last time I had a one-to-one with my team, and so on. So those type of analytics are really useful as a manager. But as an employee, the insights I'm provided are things like, you know, being productive in my work. And what I mean by that is the insights will do things like say, this week I can see, Tita, you've got 15 meetings and you don't have much time booked to prepare for them. Would you like me to create some do not disturb space? And it will dynamically create those spaces within your diary so that you've got enough space to prepare. Because let's face it, you can't really go from meeting to meeting to meeting to meeting to meeting and really be effective, right? It's better to have 2 effective meetings than have 6 ineffective meetings in one day. So the insights will Viva Insights will bring those type of statistics to you to allow you to organize your diary and organize your working day better so that you're productive. As I said, the feedback is regular and confidential. So as an employee, those insights to me will only be visible for me, right? Whereas a manager, obviously, it'll be visible to the manager. As a manager, I'll be able to see how my employees are working in terms of how many meetings they've had and so on, and be able to then act accordingly. And you can see that bottom bullet point, visibility into your organizational health. So as a CTO or CFO, I'll be able to have a look at those insights as well in terms of meetings and employees and so on, and have an understanding of how my organization is working. So you can see this is what it looks like as an employee. I can these are kind of things like, I won't go through all of them, but you can see book focus time. You know, you can see it says there's a free spot in your agendas between 10 and 12. So if I was to click book, then it would block that time for me to focus on things, and so on. Or take a breather. Spend 1 minute focusing on your breathing, help reduce stress. You know, it's an unseen challenge, but it absolutely would help. Screen fatigue is very high up there in this remote way of working now. You go from meeting to meeting, you're always looking at the screen. You get tied into your work. You don't, it's important to take a break. And if you have an AI tool that can just nudge you to step away for a couple of minutes, that will make the world of difference to you. So having those regular breaks. So Viva Insights surfaces that for you. But as a manager, I can also have insights into things like, how often have I met with my direct reports? When was my last one-to-one? When is my next one-to-one as well? So I have that understanding. One organization, once they'd seen in information on how their teams were working, they introduced a new policy called No Meeting Thursday. Excuse me. And what they did was that every Thursday, you weren't allowed to book a meeting. That was your day to work, of course, but not in the context of meetings. And because insights had revealed that they had so many meetings being conducted throughout the week that it made sense to have a day where you just do not book meetings, and it really worked for them. So those are the kind of actionable insights that you can develop or work on once you've been through them with insights. So, I beg your pardon. Um, Again, just kind of re-emphasizing the kind of benefits of insights. So you get data-driven information, data-driven insights, whether you're a leader, a manager, or an individual, and you then have an opportunity to act on those recommendations. So as a manager, you may see that, I need to book more meetings with my direct reports, or as an individual, I need to kind of book more focused time out so that I'm not having 6 meetings in one day and feeling really tired by the end of it, or screen fatigue and so on. And then as a leader as well, I can see how my organization is performing and act accordingly as well. And touching on that leader view, you can see what a leader would see, as an organizational head would see. So from an employee well-being perspective, for 53% of employees are collaborating after hours for more than 3 hours each week, or I can see that 51% of employees have less than 1 hour of one-to-one time with their managers each month. So as a CTO or as an owner, I can kind of look at these statistics and act accordingly to ensure, reduce things like burnout risk or process efficiencies. By acting on these stats, why is it that 50% of my employees are working outside office hours? Or why is it that um, less than half of my managers are engaging with their direct reports? Why is there not that communication is not as good as it should be? So you can see these statistics and kind of devise effective actions, act accordingly, whether it's meeting effectiveness, employee well-being, and so on. Excuse me. And then so what you can see here, this is just showing you what the end user experience is. So as an individual, I would receive insights into how my day is, book time for learning. You can see how it's scrolling through, or book time to confirm, block time out of my diary, book time so that I can stay focus time, and so on. So insights are sent to you directly to your inbox as an individual, and you can act on them accordingly. And this is called a new daily briefing. And this is actually coming in 2023. But some of the features in that video are already available now in your to access now. You know, so things like um, booking time away from meetings or blocking time away. Those features are already available. And then this is the feedback, Viva Pulse, to empower employees to and managers to be able to get feedback either way, so that employees could get feedback from the managers, but managers can also get feedback from their employees, so that you can address any issues that need addressing, and you have that one platform where you can do that. And this is through Viva Pulse. So now let's go to purpose or goals. And this is about aligning people and projects to the strategic business priorities. So, so that that what you're doing maps up to the organization, to the team goal and the organization's goal. And the key thing here is that you've got access to update the objectives if that's your role, or or you can see what the progress is against those objectives that have been set and act accordingly. So things like goal clarity, visibility into organizations' goals and priorities, goal setting templates. So they're templates for you to create those goals to then publish them out to your organization. All those things to ensure that you're aligned within your organization. Everyone is on the same page, as they say. And this is what it looks like. So again, surface through Teams, Microsoft Viva goals. You can see your team's OKRs, or your organizations, or your specific OKRs, objective and key results, I should say. And again, visual indicators, so green on schedule, amber behind, red, or at risk. So you've got those visual indicators so that you know as an individual, as a team, where you are against that goal, against that objective, against that OKR. And again, you can engage with your co-workers around different objectives, right? So within teams, I can have a conversation with my colleagues, um, and contribute to one of the goals, as you can see in this chat here. So it's all integrated. It's not a case of the objectives were released in a town hall statement or meeting, and then there's a slide deck with the bullet points. No, these are live objectives, live OKRs that you can always tap into and contribute to. You can break down the breakdown of them. You can look into the progress. You can see the details. You can see the owner. So the architecture of Viva Goals, is very simple but very informative. And again, you can see here the company's OKRs. They're all listed here. You can see the ones that are on track, that are behind, that are at risk, and so on. So the great thing is that as an employee, you can access these, you can see them, and you're informed. So you can help new employees make an impact from day one. You're aligning their individual priorities to the overall company's objectives. Okay, so now we're going to talk about growth. So Viva Growth. So that's all about helping employees to learn, grow, and succeed. So remember the stat I had earlier on about a percentage of employees who felt they weren't being given access to the right tools to help them develop their skills, to help them um, grow in terms of their knowledge and interests within the organization. So Viva Growth is all about addressing those employee concerns. Giving people the right content and information to help them grow at every stage in their career. And the sort of benefits that Viva growth offers, or growth that Viva offers, is making it easy to learn on the job. You can easily tap into the knowledge through your device to get to that go through that course content, whether it's on your phone or on your laptop. You know, um, when it comes to new hires or new roles, onboarding, in terms of scenario examples, this process can be streamlined because they have the tools to help them ramp up quickly. You know, offering curated courses, reskilling assessments, and personalized development plans so that employees have the right tools, the right courses to help them grow. So these are the really strong benefits to keep your employees and also at the same time help them grow at every stage of their career. The interface is personalized for the employees, so they only see the courses that are relevant to them. You know, the type of learning experience could be one-to-one chats, it could be group chats or meetings. You know, sometimes employees thrive when they're learning with other co-workers, and so having a tool that can allow them to talk about a particular topic, you know, as a group, or have that one-to-one chat with someone who is very good in that course that you're studying for. So through, you have those different these different learning experience options, whether it's one-to-one or group. You know, um, not only that, but of course, there's the integration side of things as well, right? So you're not just think of Viva Growth and My Learning, which is the specific module. Don't think of it as a blank template without any courses there. You can tap into your existing learning management solutions or tap into ones that already exist out there, like LinkedIn, for example, or Microsoft, you know. But the good thing is that you then have, as an employee, you have that personalized interface for you to always know where you are in that learning journey. How many courses have you done? How many do you need to do? Which ones have you been recommended? Things like that, answers to real-time questions. So, the course you're taking, there's the topic that you're finding quite difficult. You can communicate with co-workers who may give you some tips and hints and tips in terms of how to address that area of the learning experience. As you can see here, that landing page is personalized. It's surfaced through Teams. You see the branding, Microsoft Viva Learning. You can see things like courses that are assigned to you, courses that are recommended to you by your co-workers or your management, courses that you've bookmarked that you want to learn, embark on a bit later on, and so on. So it's very personalized, and it's centralized as well. And as I said, you can integrate with other learning management systems, LMSs, or even your own organization's content that you may create from scratch, depending on a particular role or processes that you need to follow. And again, accessible from your mobile device, from your tablet, your desktop, goes without saying. So you don't have to think, I need to be sat on my desk to do this course. You could be on the train going to a customer, or vice versa, or coming back, and so on. But there's also the group chat or meetings. You can communicate with your co-workers around courses that you're taking. Again, you're using the power of Teams to do those things, which you're already familiar with in terms of your Teams usage. So there are more effective ways to collaborate with your co-workers, and talk about the courses you're taking, share any challenges you may have, and so on. All accessible through Teams. Integrates with other systems. With LinkedIn Learning, for example, as per the screenshot, you can see the course, you can recommend it to your colleagues, you can bookmark it, so you can search the different learning platforms, bookmark them, and then return to them and access them as and when you need. So you're syncing content across Viva Learn and LinkedIn Learning to simplify that learning experience. And then, of course, we have Viva Topics, all about being the ability to kind of access content and people at in an efficient way. So what Viva Topics does is it's a solution that uses AI to automatically categorize information against topics. So you have a topic owner, and that topic owner will create keywords kind of describing what his speciality is. Any documents that are uploaded that match those keywords will then be put in the queue of that topic, and then the topic owner will look at the content and verify it if it is indeed a content that re- um, that is part of his expertise. So that way you've got this process of AI automatically flagging content and notifying the topic owners to then endorse the content if it is eligible. And so from an end user's perspective, when you're searching for a manual or something, you'll get the content, but you'll also get the subject matter experts around that topic, so you can speak with them. So it's not just about getting static content to work on, but it's also getting resources that you may want to speak to, that you can speak to and talk about them. And it's surfaced through things like topic cards, topic pages. The interface, as you can see, brings us into information in a nice simplistic way, so you can access information, whether it's content or access information, whether it's a resource, to then have that knowledge discussion. So no longer is it the pain of you need to speak to Joe Bloggs because all the information is in his head. That information is now in management system, in SharePoint or in Teams or in OneDrive, where appropriate, and it's accessible. So Viva Topics allows you to surface that information in a more effective way. And you can see this interface shows you the kind of experience you have. So in this particular project called A1111, I can see who the specialists are on that project, and I can see what specific documents are available as well, and so on. I know the graphic isn't very large, but basically it's all about being able to access documents, content, and resources specific to what you're searching for. And that's what the Viva Topics is about. An AI working in the background, meaning you don't have to manually um, allocate content to topics. That is done by AI. It will look at the content and map it accordingly. And you've got gatekeepers, the topic owners, who can verify that that content is eligible to be part of their topic. So it's a brilliant solution to ensure you're automatically getting the latest information, the latest content, the latest resource. So Viva Topics is really good in that respect, all about being able to access that knowledge. So I'm going to change gears now and talk to you about Microsoft Places. So a new connected workplace platform that will reimagine, I beg your pardon, hybrid and in-person work. So we're in hybrid workplace now. We are working in a hybrid environment right now. Very much a lot of you can relate to that. Some organizations have a policy where you go in once a week or twice a week, but it's essentially hybrid is very much something that we can all relate to, and it seems like it's going to be here for a long time, basically, and which is why the technology is responding accordingly. And Microsoft Places is that tool to help you navigate that hybrid journey. So it delivers solutions that coordinate where work happens. It modernizes the office with intelligent technology, optimizes the workplace for changing needs. So it's got tools to allow you to make those decisions in a informed way. You have enough information to allow you to make that decision to go into work on that day or not. So the technology gives you insights to make that decision more effective. So in terms of coordinating where work happens, you can see what it looks like here. You've got this calendar view where you can see what percentage of people are working in the office. You can see on Monday, the office is only 20% full, whereas on Wednesday, it's 90% full. So you can go ahead and you can decide whether you're going to be working in the office or working remotely on that day. So that hybrid scheduling allows you to have that visibility in terms of what the office will look like the following week. You can see 74% of your coworkers are planning to be in the office on Tuesday. So you get those insights immediately at your fingertip. You can look down and specifically see individual and you can see what days they're in. Like Andre is in on Thursday and Friday, it's highlighted in light blue, whereas Monday and Tuesday and Friday Wednesday and Thursday he's in the office. Monday, Tuesday, Friday he's working at home and so on. So you have that graphic that indicates where the individual is on any particular day. So the intelligent booking, you will be able to discover intelligent places, available spaces, and make those bookings accordingly. And then, but when it comes to intelligent booking, you no longer waste time looking for the right conference room or following outdated building signs. Instead, you'll be able to access a map on your mobile device to guide you to the right place. So you booked desk 4 in building 4 on the 22nd of August. You will use your device and it will tell you where that is, where that desk is on that day, or where that conference room is. So you're not flustered or trying to work out where's conference room 3. It's all up to date, it's all accessible. Hot desk booking, allowing you to book a desk next to your colleagues. You know where your colleagues are on any particular day. You can sit next to them and so on. You've got that visual display. But it goes even beyond that. Even before you've actually decided to go in and work on a particular day, AI will give you information in terms of optimal traffic time. So we all know, you're all used to things like Google Maps and the Apple equivalent, whose name I just can't remember right now. But for them, the Google Maps will tell you what the traffic conditions are from driving from A to B. Equally, this product will tell you the optimal time for traveling into work on that particular day, so that so you've got more information, more data to help you make that decision in terms of when you're going in. So whether the deciding factor is traffic to decide whether you're going on a Monday or not, or whether the deciding factor is which colleagues are available on that particular day, and so on. The technology with Microsoft Places will give you that information to allow you to ensure that when you do make that booking, you've made it for the right reasons and you get the best out of it in terms of your travel experience and in terms of meeting your fellow workers, because you've seen that information, you know what days they're in, you know where they're sitting, you've got a map so you know where to get to, um, to the where which room the meeting room is selected in, or which floor the desk is. All those soft things means you don't have to worry about that. It's almost you're on autopilot. You just select the day, you do it, in you go to the office, and you know one less thing to worry about, right? One less thing to worry about, and that's all it takes. Sometimes that's all it takes. But then on top of that, you can then be more effective in terms of how you use your office space, how you optimize it. You know, Space Insights gives you utilization data and energy saving opportunities, occupancy trends. So you can have trends. You may be able to see things like on Mondays and Fridays, the office is light. So let's just say that you can only book the first and second floor. We'll keep the third and fourth floor off. There'll be no heating on those days, on those floors. You're saving energy that way, and so on. Whereas Tuesday to Friday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, absolutely all floors accessible because there's a lot more people in the office on that day. So Space Insights gives you insights into how the conference rooms are used or how the desks are used, and allows you to make these energy saving decisions, to save you money, but also absolutely do good for the environment, right? Be greener, reduce that carbon footprint by making more effective use of your office space and your building space. So space optimization will reduce the available floors on lighter days, saving energy and expenditure, and improving that workspace experience, and so on. So this is what it would look like. It's just those visible trends. So what's your next step on your employee experience journey? So we started talking about Viva. So There's a Viva Fast Track engagement, which is Microsoft funded. So if you're eligible to that, you would embark on that. We would work with you to register you to go on the Viva funded engagement, and we would engage with yourselves through art of the possible discovery sessions where we will talk to you about Viva in a bit more depth than I've spoken to today, with a view of understanding the lay of the land, what the challenges are, and recommending the appropriate Viva applications to embark on, kind of roadmap that journey to yourselves. If you aren't eligible for Microsoft funding, we can absolutely still engage with yourselves, and we will, through a Bytes-led process where we'll have an ACM workshops, a series of workshops called Adoption and Change Management. And it's essentially the same thing in the sense that we're looking at your engagement, looking at your environment, and understanding the access. We'll access, understand, and recommend your environment. So we'll do those three things, which will lead to a roadmap in terms of how you can adopt the Viva products. And the same applies for Microsoft Places in terms of how we would look to see how we can work with you to enable you to utilize the product to help in terms of that engagement. So in terms of, my colleagues are available the rest of this session. They'll be able to talk you through what the potential next steps are. We're absolutely here to help you, and we really want to work with you and help you adopt these employee experience platforms, which are Microsoft Places and Microsoft Viva, all about putting the tools to ensure your employees are happy and can access information, or access content, have visibility to everything that they need to see. But with Microsoft Spaces, you're also then leveraging making the most out of your physical office. You're improving that booking experience. You're almost validating, um, making the most out of the office space, and so on. So we're absolutely here to help you on any part of that journey, and we really want to work with you with this. So nothing left for me to say except thank you for your devoted attention today, and thank you very, very much. Bye for now.